Dallas Cowboys fans, this is what you've been looking for. A show discussing the team you love without all the fluff and BS. Host Greg Rector, along with Cowboys writers and content creators from across the country, break it down. This isn't the same old, same old. This is the blue and silver breakdown. How about them Cowboys?
Hey everybody, this is at Greg Cowboys 1964. Please do follow me on X at that account now. The Dallas Cowboys pretty much handled the Las Vegas Raiders last night. It was a beautiful thing to watch. And for me, George Pickens proved he needs to be re-signed by the Cowboys. Jerry, you know, if the salary cap goes to 305, 307 this year, there's plenty of room to sign George Pickens. So don't worry about this garbage that you hear about. Oh, we can't afford him. BS. That's all a bunch of garbage. You know, you can give him the same deal you've given CD. That's the bottom line of all of that. 9 catches, 144 yards. He was basically unstoppable. And Dak Prescott was finding guys in the open. He was accurate. That was a beautiful thing to see as well. Yes, I understand that this is the Raiders, and everybody's going to say, well, that doesn't really count because this Raiders team sucks and all that other jazz. This is still an NFL football team. And when you get a win in the NFL, that matters. Again, the Cowboys manhandled the Raiders 33-16. Prescott last night was 25 of 33. So basically 76% passing, 268 yards, 4 TDs. He was phenomenal. Javonte Williams had his most carries this season with 22, 93 yards, 4.227 yards per average. They basically did whatever they wanted to do against the Raiders defense. And now let's go and discuss the Cowboys offense. That was, you know, a fine display, but the defense, what a difference. What a difference. Using a 5-man front. Hello, Matt Eberflus. You're finally making sense. Thank you. All 4 DTs were out on the line one play. It was beautiful to see. Quinnen Williams is back home with Aaron White-Cotton, and that seemed to make a huge difference. 1.5 sacks, seven pressures. He was basically phenomenal. The Cowboys defense overall got 4 sacks on Geno Smith. It was basically a thing of beauty to see. But the area that was just as important to me was Logan Wilson. You could just see the players understand where they were supposed to be out in that field, because Logan Wilson understands how to play football, and that was something that we just weren't seeing with Kenneth Murray. There was a direction to the play, and Logan Wilson was outstanding. Demarion Overshown came back. He didn't make anything outstanding, but he didn't hurt himself. That's a key thing. It was basically a beautiful thing to witness. The Cowboys basically got everything that they could out of the defense last night, and Duron Bland had a hell of a night. Even though Brock Bowers was getting his receptions, it was it was 7 for 72 yards. But he wasn't getting burned the way he did the previous game against Marvin Harrison. It was basically just a beating. You want to talk about run defense? The Cowboys ended up giving up 27 yards rushing. That was beautiful. And that had everything to do with Kenny Clark, Oso Odigizua, and Mr. Quinnen Williams. It was something to definitely watch. It really made my heart feel good to see a Cowboys defense actually stopping the running game. And again, the edges were being set. That was beautiful. I've bitched about this quite often, especially when it came to the former number 11 and now number 1 in Green Bay. He was horrible at setting an edge. This is why setting an edge matters, though. Ashton Genty had nowhere to run. He was basically used as a receiver out of the backfield. 6 catches, 27 yards. But he was 6 carries for 7 yards. You're not going to get anywhere with that. It was basically a complete beatdown of the Raiders. So that was a beautiful thing to see. So now let's move on and discuss the visit from Fly Eagles Fly. This team confounds everybody with their current record. They understand how to get wins. They understand. And again, they basically manhandled the Detroit Lions the other night. But again, Jalen Hurts was 50% passing, 135 yards. Saquon Barkley, 26 carries, 83 yards. Their offense just doesn't impress me. It just doesn't impress me. Now, can the Cowboys use this new defense to stop Jalen Hurts? Because again, don't forget, week 1, they didn't put a spy on Jalen Hurts. And Hurts got the advantage of that in game 1. The Cowboys. I like their 5-man front. That was a beautiful thing to see. And again, with Logan Wilson being out there as the guy wearing the green dot, he puts people in the right place. And that is such an important factor. Something that I said before, Kenneth Murray just wasn't capable of doing that. It was basically, you saw an NFL defense for a change. And that was certainly a beautiful thing to see. So the Eagles do not have Lane Johnson, a man who gets away with more holds than anybody in the league. He is gone for 4 to 6 weeks with a Liz fracture. So that breaks my heart. I don't like to see anybody hurt, by the way. But again, Lane Johnson, the right tackle, is going to be missing. It'll be an interesting case to see who they attack on the right hand side, because don't forget, Tyler Steen is also the right guard. He is not that good either. So again, the Eagles' offensive line is now got some damage on it. If this Cowboys defense uses the 5-man front, I think they're going to get to Jalen Hurts. And again, once a quarterback's under pressure, he makes mistakes. That's the bottom line of all of that. By the way, the Cowboys only gained one spot in the draft. They're 4-5-1. They're now picking 13th and 24th because of the Green Bay pick. So there's your 2 draft picks currently. I really don't care for AJ Brown and all of his commentary. He's just, and he had to have a meeting with Jeffrey Lurie on the practice field on Thursday before the game. That's highly unusual, highly. And he promised Lurie that he wouldn't be making any more social media comments. Well, that's fine and dandy, but you didn't need to make them in the first place. Your team is winning. Doesn't matter how, your team wins. That's the bottom line of the NFL. And you have to give the Cowboys credit for playing the way that they did. That was for Marshawn Nealon, which we all know his tragic situation. That was basically, a very, very solid game that they put together against the Raiders. I think that they can be just as solid against this Eagles team. If they keep Saquon Barkley bottled up, there's half the battle. And if you keep a spy on Jalen Hurts, like I said, week 1, you're going to be a whole lot better off. So if that's Overshown or if it's Wilson, either one of them, Jalen Hurts isn't going to have anywhere to run either. And again, if that team can't run the football, if they have to rely on passing, you just saw what he did against the Lions, 50%. That'll make for a very tough game for the Eagles. And, if the Cowboys do get to 5-5-1, and the Eagles fall to 8-3, there's still no hope of winning the division. I still don't see that happening. But the playoff picture then tightens up a little bit. They could be somebody that can make a run for the wild card. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. Thanksgiving Day against the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't care that the Chiefs are coming to town. This is not a very good Kansas City Chiefs team. You can go out and beat those guys. Yes, they've got Patrick Mahomes. Okay, but what do they have around them? Not much. Not much. I mean, the Broncos deserved that victory on Sunday. They matched them tooth for tooth on the defensive side, and that was a beautiful thing to watch as well. See, everybody always wants to focus on the offense, the quarterback, and the receivers, and That's not football to me. Football was on the ground. Football matters when you're running that football. That's the true testament of a good team. And again, the Cowboys did run the football very well against the Raiders. We'll see what happens against this Eagles defense. I think George Pickens could have a field day, though, because CeeDee Lamb is going to get Quinyon Mitchell. There's no doubt about that. But again, George Pickens could have some easy catches again. If that happens, that could be a very, very long game for the Eagles. And no, I'm not going to worry about CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens not being out in the field in that first series. They did something wrong. They got punished for it. End of discussion. That's it. That's all over. The Cowboys. George Pickens is not going to do anything. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, Mook Arab. He's certainly got the attention of the league at this point. Prescott is finding him wide open. He's leading him with the passes. It's been a beautiful thing to see. But again, we'll see what happens. The Cowboys. Adoree Jackson stepped up last game. Well, he was decent in that last game, that's for sure. But again, Adoree Jackson, he's gonna be tested against Mr. Pickens. There's no doubt about that. And Pickens has the size, and I mean size advantage over Adoree Jackson. So take that for what it's worth as well. The Cowboys need to basically just follow the same game plan that they had this past week. There's just no doubt in my mind. They look so much better on defense. That was the key to me. The 5-man front really messed up the Raiders. And again, Lane Johnson not out there. That's going to be a tough assignment for the Eagles right tackle. It's not going to be an easy day. And again, as long as you keep the Eagles away from 3rd and 2 and that tush push, I don't see much progress happening for the Eagles. The Cowboys need to win this game. Of course, they lost that week 1 game because, as I said, prior to that game, you had to put a spy on Jalen Hurts. They didn't do it. That cost them. If you've got the guys now out in the field who can actually stop Jalen Hurts, that is going to be the key. It's basically going to be a typical NFC East knock them down, drag them out and shoot them type of a game. I'm going to say the Cowboys actually win this game 24. Well, you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, Mook Arab. That's fine by me. If you Birds fans love everything to do with the Cowboys and their media content, I don't understand. I thought you guys always just cared about your own team, but again, the Cowboys seem to get under your goats. Well, that's a shame. It really is. It's amazing how Birds fans always want to flock over to the Dallas Cowboys. That's fine by me. That's fine. And again, if the Cowboys do lose this game, it's no sweat off my balls. It's not the end of the world. It's football. I'm going to say that the Cowboys do win this game 24-20. And that should be the score. And again, it's going to be a knockdown, drag them out NFC East battle. And again, I've got the Cowboys winning 24-20. Um, so everybody, take care. We'll see you all next. I was 20 years old last time we won. No, actually, I was much older than that, but that's okay. Um, you know, that's all right, Mook Arab. I was 31, but that's okay. You know, but again, the Cowboys the Cowboys are going to beat the Eagles 24-20, and I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. Everybody take care, and we'll see you all next Tuesday when we'll discuss the Kansas City Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day. Take care.